Good to go. Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Good afternoon to our people on Ground Zero. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, Ambazonians. Good afternoon. Valley Best. Welcome, comrade. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning to all of to Ambazonians across North America. Good afternoon to Ambazonians across the continent of Europe. Good afternoon to Ambazonians on Ground Zero and Ground One. My name is Lucas Asu. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us for this live broadcast. We will deliver for you. Today we are going to be examining a series of issues and events that relates to the Ambazonian Revolution and then we'll be able to provide clarity and give you a greater insight as to why these things are happening and what you should be expecting in the coming days or in the coming weeks. The most important thing we are going to be examining today is the MUKETE drama at La République du Cameroon Senate and what that means and how that relates to what Biya intends or plan to negotiate if there will be any negotiation through Switzerland with the people of Ambazonia. And if we'll also be examining if the Ambazonian people are ready for any such thing as a negotiation. We'll also be looking at the drama within the Ambazonian, the context of the Ambazonian Revolution in terms of leadership, the tussle for political power, who is in control. We'll be looking at the SCLC versus the IG surrogates, or some of the leaders within the IG structure. We'll be looking at SACO's Berlin conference and what the Ambazonian people should be expecting out of all of this and what this means for the future of the Ambazonian Revolution. So we have about 45 minutes to deliver this message. As you know, we only come online to have a conversation, to discuss with you all when only there is something meaningful to talk about. All right? So our conversation is going to be between, let me see the time. We have exactly 45 minutes to carry out this conversation with the analyst. So I won't take much time. I just want to welcome everybody. And I'm very happy and I'm very privileged. I'm very delighted to have the opportunity that we can have this conversation today. All right. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your patriotism. Thank you for your steadfastness in this revolution. Let me bring in the analyst. Before I bring in the analyst, as always, it's a tradition on this platform that we honor any live event through the singing of the anthem to honor the flag, to honor our nation, and to declare to ourselves and to the world who we are as Ambazonians. So you can invite people to participate. The video will be online for others to watch later. Share it through your WhatsApp group. Invite people to participate. Send people messages to participate in this discussion, because this is where we give you profound education. We give you insights. We inspire you. We elevate you. We educate you. That's the whole point here. You know, the essence of leadership is to be able to educate, inspire, elevate, impact, and encourage people. And that's what we do on this platform. So let's sing the anthem together. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonians who pledge our loyalty. Praise the Son, our Savior, who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the heroes who bore the land with their blood. Glory to the glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with milk and honey. Glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Good afternoon, my fellow Ambazonians. Yes, welcome, crushes. My name is Lucas Asu. I will be joined by the analyst, and we are here to deliver for the Ambazonian people. Yes, welcome, 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 my fellow Ambazonians. I hope you are all strong. I hope that your hope has been intensified. I hope that you believe that Ambazonia will be liberated. I hope that you do believe that you deserve a free nation. I hope that you stand for nothing but the unconditional. I hope you stand for nothing but the unconditional independence of Ambazonia. I hope that's what you stand for. I hope this is what we'll be fighting for and nothing else. So today, I'm joined by the analyst to discuss what is happening. The pre-programming that about 2 days ago, the man who was about 100 and something years old stood MUKETE stood at La République du Cameroon Parliament or Senate, and and dramatized a certain epilogue or plot or what is that? What do they call it in literature? A play. It's a play, right? And so I want to tell you what that means, what they are doing, what message they are sending, what they intend to do, and just to give you just a sneak peek to their power play, to what they intend to tell you, to what they intend, what messages they are sending to you, what they are trying to confuse you. So let's dive in. Let me bring in the analyst and let's have a quick conversation. We only have, as of now, we have 40 minutes to do this. In exactly 40 minutes, this conversation will be over. All right? Because as I've said at the introduction, we will only come online to speak, to have a conversation, to be live, only when there is something meaningful, something so important for us to have a conversation with. If not, we'll be doing our work in the background. Okay? So where's the analyst? Let me bring in the analyst. Yeah, the phone is ringing.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, brother.
Yes. How are you doing?
Good afternoon to you, bro.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. I hope you can hear me well.
We can hear you very clear, very loud. We are extremely delighted that you've taken the time to join us today to have a quick conversation. We have 40 minutes to do this. We've decided to be doing a communication chunking, which means we deliver messages directly to the point in the way that our people can absorb it, in the way that it's impactful, inspiring, educational, elevating. Obviously, this is a leadership psychology platform, so that's what people expect from us, to be able to do communicational chunking. So, comrade, I am very delighted to have the opportunity again for you, for us to have a very meaningful, impactful, inspiring conversation with the Ambazonian people.
My pleasure as always.
2 days ago, you watched the drama at La République du Cameroon Senate, where this guy who's 100 and something years old, you saw what he dramatized at their Senate there. So when you're looking at that and you look at the fact that, you know, about a day or so after, right after that drama at the Senate, where he talked about giving people the history and talking about how, you know, this is a linguistic problem and how, at first 11 months ago, Musonge had, came out, MUKETE had, praised Paul Biya and talked about how Paul Biya is a man of justice. This is just 11 months ago when the revolution was at its peak, when self-defense and the war on the ground was at its peak, when the killings were at its peak. This man, he praised Paul Biya so much and thanked Paul Biya for nominating him again for the second time to be a senator, and that he will die fighting for Paul Biya to make sure that Cameroon remains one and indivisible, and that effective decentralization is the best way to solve the crisis. 11 months later, now when their throats, they are being held at the chokehold. Now the language is changing. He's now getting into the emotions of the people to try to appeal to the people, to try to project himself as someone who's regrettable, who cannot sit by and watch all of this happening. So when you look at all of that, and you look at the fact that at this stage, they want to use their bankers, as Dr. Ayabacho calls it. They want to use Switzerland to start some form of a negotiation. Was MUKETE's drama at their parliament a prelude, a sneak peek into what they intend to do?
Look, comrade, MUKETE's what he was doing in their Senate, I will just describe it as just a scene in this drama of distraction. Anybody who was listening to that and believing it is believing at their own risk. We know who they are, we know what they are doing, we know their plans. But before we go into that, I just want to take a moment to call on all Ambazonians. Please remember our leaders it's Dr. Nyi and the team. They are in the headquarters of the EU now. They are negotiating for us, speaking for us. Please, all of you, put them in your prayers. Pray that God should guide them. God should open doors for them. Pray that God should touch the heart of the people that they are talking to, so that they can be receptive and work for this hour and be positive to our plight and help us. So please, every single Ambazonian, is our duty. If you're in Belgium, please go and support them physically. If you cannot be there, please pray for them. So, but that aside, coming back to MUKETE's issue, we know it.
By the way,
the question is.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. No problem. So the whole thing is this. Let's first ask ourselves, who is MUKETE? Who is he working for? Where is he? In what context is he speaking? That is how we should look at things. This is just a distraction. It's just their game called distraction. Look, MUKETE is not, first of all, an elected member of the Senate. He's an appointee of Biya. He has appointed twice by Biya. Even the last time he spoke, before this drama in the Senate, he pledged, he praised Biya for maintaining the territorial integrity of Cameroon, and pledged that he is going to work to his dying days to protect that. So I don't see where there's any change in his mind. For those who want to have a little belief in what he's doing, let's say he's truthful. then the only reason why he may be doing that is because that man is 100 plus. He's going to his dying day, in his last days. He's looking at where he's going to be buried. He knows that the people, when he goes, where he's going to, Southern Cameroonians will not even want to receive him. They don't even want to. His legacy is gone. After him, he will be remembered as one of those people who worked hard to enslave our people. So some of these outbursts are those things to confuse people. But it's a distraction. It's a distraction.
That's why
the thing is, they have a plan. The plan is to continue to enslave us, and anything they say, we believe it at our own risk.
That's why I asked the question. Was that a prelude? Was that a sneak peek to give people an idea of what is it that they intend to negotiate about?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, sometimes we try to look at things, we separate different events from different, and we don't see the connections. All of these things are connections. This guy is working directly with Biya regime. They are strategizing. As they started using, as they've always done, they are using our people to confuse us, to create, a kind of a prelude to what they want to do. And we know it. These guys are desperate. They are desperate. Biya is desperate. His biggest failure, apart from all the destruction of the economy, destruction of lives, is this Anglophone crisis. The international community was actually kind of still just, in some kind of a bittersweet relationship with him, but at least maintaining him. Yeah. But now, they are totally, the international community doesn't even want to see him anymore because, most especially because of the Anglophone crisis.
Let's catch ourselves and correct our language. It's not an Anglophone crisis. This is a crisis in Ambazonia. This is a war in Southern Cameroon.
The line is breaking a bit, but I can't hear you well.
I was saying, because the word was Anglophone crisis, and I said, no, it's not an Anglophone crisis. It's a war in Ambazonia. It's a war in Southern Cameroon. It's a genocide. It's a war against the people of Southern Cameroon, not a crisis in Anglophone Cameroon.
No, the thing is this. In the beginning of this thing, I'm talking about looking at the perspective of the international community. The international community at the beginning, at least most of them understood it to be kind of an internal problem.
That's true.
But the way he has handled it and giving us the ability to now express and tell the international community what it is. Now the international community has come to the realization that it is no more an internal problem. If you look at how they speak, even the US, they now call the name Ambazonia.
That's right. It's
a reflection of the fact that we have been able now to make the world to understand that this is not an internal problem. But the whole thing is this. Biya is still trying to use some of the few Anglophones who are there, especially people like from MUKETE, who has been there for long. He has seen the whole transition of Cameroon, right from independence right up to the unification or what. He has been all of this. So I'm trying to get him as that voice who knows the history to try to convince our people and also speak to the international community that we are not happy, but we still want to live with Cameroon under a kind of a decentralized structure or something. We've gone past all of that. It's just, look, Biya now, I know that they now are looking for a way to give us at least something that will bring us back into their union. Something that they have been refusing. Remember, they had said that the form of the state is non-negotiable. So they are talking federalization, they have refused. But now, you see, they are looking for ways to get some of our few voices to be as if they are protesting against the government, and then bring up these proposals, this kind of throwing these things about federalization or something, so that our people should start saying, but yeah, maybe we can take this. But all of that is a charade. We have moved past that. The whole thing is our independence is what we're looking for. Biya is using him now to push for just their next plans, which is to use their bankers, use international bodies to try to convince or force our people to take the option that they want, which is something which we have rejected and we continue to reject.
And which is if you look at all of their options, the only interest they have in Southern Cameroon, it is to maintain Southern Cameroon as a colonial territory for their economic resource, financial gains. And also, it is because it is that region that provides food to La République du Cameroon and all the CIMAC region. So that's what their interests lie. The question I want to ask you now is, now we know what they are aiming for in terms of using Switzerland as the bridge to talk to the Ambazonian people. This negotiation that they are talking about, the negotiation as we speak right now, they have been speaking with the people on the ground, with Southern Cameroonians on the ground. Switzerland is already talking to Southern Cameroonians that are within La République structure. So when Biya is talking about this negotiation, understand that they are not only looking at talking to Southern Cameroonian political leadership, they are not looking at talking to Southern Cameroonian revolutionary political leadership, that is the voice of the revolution. They are also looking at using the slave masters, the enablers, the facilitators, the people they have implanted within themselves and within all the structures in our revolution, so that they can project that they are talking. As we speak, they are also talking to Southern Cameroonians that have some credibility on the ground. So this is what they are trying to look at. When the US said, call for an all-inclusive dialogue. This is what Switzerland is pushing for. They are already talking to some people. We don't want to call names here, but if not, I would have called about 10 names of Southern Cameroonians that that Switzerland is directly talking to on the ground, back in La République du Cameroon and in Southern Cameroon. Also, I want to ask you, is the Ambazonian people, do you think at this stage of the Ambazonian revolution, do you think the Ambazonian people should even think of going to sit on a negotiating table?
Look, at this level, we cannot go to the negotiation table now. Anybody planning to go to the negotiation table now, that person is just playing into Biya's plan. Okay. We need to bring ourselves to a level where we have the strength to be able to conduct business with La République on an equal playing field. We don't have that strength now. We are building that strength. And remember, the whole thing is this. We know that a few months ago, Switzerland had offered to mediate in this issue. And I think that the Americans and maybe the British, and I think they are up for that idea. But the whole thing is this. These guys can negotiate with whoever they want to talk with. They can talk with whoever they want to talk with. But remember, the period where elites controlled the minds of Southern Cameroonians is past. We are no longer in that period where we had some few people we call elites who will come and speak and make noise. During political campaigns, they will come, our people will go out and clap for them and this. And those people will go back, continue to execute Biya's plan for us. That period is past. We have passed that period. So if they continue, the Swiss, they know it. They can talk to those people because those people are like, okay, a starting position to talk. But we know even the UN representative in Cameroon, when these people, the guys were trying to organize their all, what do you call it, the Tumi conference and the rest, and they were talking about negotiation and the rest, and the representative, UN representative, on the media, she said that any dialogue, any meaningful discussions or consultation has to be done with the people who are calling for cessation. So no matter what they do, they can go up and down, they will come back to where everything matters, and is talking with the people who are running this revolution.
All right.
Let's also understand.
Let's go back to that question.
Yeah?
Let's go back to that question.
Yeah?
Are the Ambazonia, do you think at this stage of our revolution, should Ambazonians go to the negotiating table, or we are not ready for negotiation yet?
No, we are not ready for negotiation. We are not ready for negotiation. We need to strengthen our resolve on the ground. That means we need to build a viable resistance or restoration forces on the ground. We need to have them at the capacity where they are able to show strength on the ground. And then we also need to build a strong, very, very strong diplomatic currency. We need to get strong diplomatic support before we go there. Okay. Biya holds all the cards now. His military is far more superior to our guys. Biya is still, officially, he is still the president of Cameroon. He still has his embassies, his people around. We have to get ourselves at a diplomatic level where we have our people being supported by at least some international organizations. Before we can go to the negotiation table, we cannot go there now. And this is what is playing into all these distractions that we see even in this revolution, is that some of the people who call themselves leaders in this revolution, they are not looking for ways to strengthen Ambazonia, to build a very strong diplomatic base where we have support diplomatically. They are not looking at strengthening our restoration forces on the ground so that we have the strength on the ground. They are looking at setting up structures to go and negotiate. Their purpose, all they want is just to have some legitimacy so that they can sit on the table and negotiate. But that won't work. And that is something that all Ambazonians should stand up against. Let's work now. Let's work hard now at this moment to strengthen ourselves. On the ground and in the international scene. And that is the only way. That is the only way we'll get our independence. When we are strong enough, then we'll be able to negotiate as equal players. Now is not time for negotiation.
Okay, so now, you've said something very important. And this is what I call the drama. This is what I call the political drama in the Ambazonian revolution, where leaders are much more interested in positioning themselves to gain some form of legitimacy and social trust in order for them to go negotiate with Paul Biya, instead of focusing their energy, focusing their attention, focusing their time to beef up ground zero, to prepare ground zero. Just like Dr. Ayabacho is helping to build a contender force on the ground. Instead of leaders developing that kind of a mindset, a pragmatic mindset, to prepare ground zero to become such a contender force, whereby we can go on the negotiating table on equal footing, on a position of strength. But now people are much more interested to come together, set up some form of structure that can give them some form of legitimacy, just so that they can be in a position to go negotiate. So this is why we on this platform, we like to bring you this kind of education so that you begin to understand there are two types of leadership within the Ambazonian revolution. There are two types of leadership. There is one type of leadership that is leadership just based on social significance. Leadership based on the fact that I'm just a leader. And so my aim is I want to quickly go negotiate with Paul Biya in order that I am important, in order that I have done something for the revolution. That's the first type of leadership you're looking at this revolution. And there's a lot of your leaders When you pay attention to their actions, you pay attention to what they are doing, if you can really be honest with yourself, you will see that there is nothing they are doing for this revolution other than wait. And just wait so that they can go negotiate with Biya or get themselves ready from one conference to the next conference to gain some form, to create some form of a political or a social acceptance or legitimacy so that they can be part of the package that negotiate with Biya. That's one set of leadership. There is a second set of leadership. A leadership where they understand that in order for us to get what we want, we must not rush into the negotiating table, but we should spend our time to arm our boys on the ground. We can't go to the negotiating table weak. We can't go to the negotiating table when we don't have anything to offer. We can't go on the negotiating table when we don't have the political leverage on the ground. We need the political leverage. And to gain that leverage, that leverage is called being a contender. To gain that leverage, we need to beef up what's happening on the ground. We need to group the armed self-defense groups on the ground, just like Dr. Ibacho is doing. We need to do more of that. The groups like the ASC, groups like SOCADEF, groups like the Seven Kata, the exact same thing has to be happening as ADF, the Tigers, the resistance, British Southern Cameroon resistance forces of General Aroke, and the swords of Ambazonia, right, forming that coalition, that self-defense coalition, to be so strong when now they can go after the occupier. Now they can start to take control of territory. Now they can start to get these SDOs and DOs and colonial agents out. That's the plan. So anybody thinking of going to negotiate at such a weak state, they will only give you what the international system wants to offer you, which is to keep Cameroon one and indivisible. That's what they are interested in. So we must focus right now, as the analyst has rightly said, to prepare the ground, to arm the boys on the ground until we become a powerful force. We are not going to get what we want. To get what we want, Ambazonians, we need to make ourselves become fearful. We need to make the self-defense on the ground. We need to convert the self-defense groups on the ground into a full military force, into a full security force, into a full policing and community forces. We need to convert. That is what the work that needs to be done now. This is the message every single leader should be out there advocating for, preaching for, not looking for some form of political, social acceptance. That is not what we need now. At this stage of our revolution, where our villages are being burned down, more than 230 villages are gone completely. Now we are looking at about 850,000 Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, that are living in the bushes. We're looking at about 200,000 that have fled to Nigeria. So this is the time. We don't have to be waiting for anything like 20th May and then we say, let's do a lockdown. A lockdown is not a strategy of liberation. This is the time where leaders have to focus their energy to beef up the systems on the ground, to build the self-defense capacity on the ground, to be mobilizing Ambazonian people to once and for all do something extraordinary for our liberation. This is the moment. So, analysts, I want to talk to you about this because we have about 10 more minutes. I want to ask you this. What should the Ambazonians leaders be doing now in terms of where they want to take us to? What should they be doing now? What should their focus be on now?
The comrade, I just want to make something clear, and I want every single Ambazonian to listen. Look, we started a revolution, and during the course of the revolution, we've made too many mistakes.
Okay.
We have been sold too many lies. There have been too many distractions, chaos in this revolution. And I think 2 years into this revolution, it's time for us to gain back our focus and start running this revolution the way it should be run.
Okay.
There are two things that we should understand. First of all, we need to make ourselves strong. We need to place ourselves in a position where we are able to sit on the table and talk with Biya as equal partners. And then we need to prepare now for that negotiation. Now, let's see, because the whole this confusion and the rest has come from the fact that we know in this revolution there are people who are really there for the liberation of our people. There are a lot of people there who are for their self-interest, so they can jump and do what as long as it stays within their self-interest. And we also know that there are people in this revolution who are acting based on instructions from their masters. They are in this revolution to cause distractions. They are taking instructions from Biya. We must recognize this. And if we don't recognize this, then we are naive. The thing is that we have had 2 years of failure. Very little, let me not say failure, but not failure, but 2 years of learning experience.
Yes.
I said it, what we should be doing now, as you ask, I have said it. The problem in this revolution is not that we have different groups. The problem in this revolution is how these groups operate. There are two things that we should know here. Unity and collaboration. I talked about this before. Unity is not about all the groups coming together and forming one group. It will not work. It will cause more distraction, it will cause more confusion and more infighting. It will not work, and it should not even be the purpose. Unity is about developing a mindset of unity in purpose. What is the purpose? What is your purpose? That is the reason why each and every group has to define its purpose. Are you in this revolution for independence? Are you in this revolution for federalism? Are you in this revolution for something else? Or are you walking in between all these different options? Groups should actually define that. That will help us develop good collaboration. Because as some groups have said, we will only collaborate with groups that have a certain ideology. We know that the people of Against have said that they will only collaborate with people that they know stand for independence. That is their right to determine who they collaborate with. That is their right to do what they want to do. Secondly, when you talk about collaboration, the problem we have had with this collaboration is that people just go and sit in the room and say, now we are collaborating. If you ask them, what are they collaborating on? Nobody knows. Collaboration, we should have unity in purpose, each group working independently, then collaborating on specific aspects. If they say, take on ground zero, if there is, let's say, if all the groups are collaborating, they have the purpose to liberate our land, and they're collaborating. Then you have the ADF, you have SOCADEF, you have ASC, you have AMF, you have the Restoration for Resistance Forces, you have all these groups, sort of Ambazonia. They now will collaborate on specific missions, with each group having a specific role to play in that mission. So that is real collaboration, and that is what should be happening in the leadership today. There should be collaboration should be on specific issues. For example, the AGOC under the leadership of Dr. Ni is now doing diplomacy, and they have called on other groups that are standing for independence to join them to collaborate on this specific issue. That is how collaboration is supposed to work. Not just sit in the room and say, okay, we have decided to collaborate, we form a new group, And then they ask you, we are collaborating on what? Nobody knows. Who is running the collaboration? Who is doing what? And then infighting starts, like we've already seen with the I don't want to bash any group, by the way. This is a learning platform. It is a place that if you cannot handle learning, then please don't come here. If you are somebody who is ready to listen and take the information, weigh it on the information that you have and make a value judgment, then be here. But if it's about people who have stuck to a certain idea and are not willing to make any change even when they know it's wrong, then it's not the right thing. But what I was saying is this: we have seen all kinds of different collaborations and the rest of what going on with no success. We've heard about unity. We don't even know what they're uniting for what. At this moment in time, there are only two things that we should be focusing on. That is strengthening ourselves diplomatically. That means going out there and creating the diplomatic network that we have, creating the diplomatic strength that we need. That is the one thing that we should be doing now. And the second thing which we should be doing now is to be building a strong contender force on the ground, a force or a coalition of forces that have a common purpose and they collaborate on specific missions. That's what we should be doing now. Every other thing that is happening is a distraction. It's just a distraction. Our people at this moment want to see results. Results don't come from all the chaos. Results don't come from setting up groups and the rest. Results come from going out there and making the case for the Ambazonian people, for our cause in the diplomatic arena, and also working on ground zero to create a good coalition for our guys. All the rest is distraction. All the rest is self-aggrandizing. All the rest is, I would even go as far as saying that it's playing straight into the hands of Biya. Because let's understand also, one way of defeating a revolution is just to create a scenario where the people running the revolution continue to dance in circle. Continue to dance and dance and dance in circle until the people get tired. Biya is just trying to create fatigue for us, so that our people become dissatisfied. Our people, the killing, they become dissatisfied with the leadership. They become dissatisfied with the fact that there's no result coming in. They become dissatisfied with the fact that the killing and the rest and on all these things. And then anymore. In the beginning of this revolution, I mean, some groups were able to raise millions, which we know at the end of it all, we didn't see. And this is something I think we should talk about a little bit. That at the end of it, we didn't see any result. But now how many people are contributing? It's fatigue. That is the game of La République. Create this lengthening of things so that the fatigue sets in and then we lose this revolution. Okay. We want results now. Okay. And unity in purpose, collaboration on specific aspects.
Okay. So you've talked about leaders should focus more now on doing two important things, which is to create diplomatic networks to gain the support and also to build up the support on the ground. Now, as you know, they have formed this new group called the SCLC. And just for the LCLC to project its political, maybe to show what that they are the new kid on the block, they send out a memo calling off the 10-day lockdown, and just within minutes of them sending out that message that they are calling for the lockdown, the ASC leadership in FACO that actually called for the lockdown, in fact, the 10-day lockdown in FACO, actually came out, rejected it, and then rubbished the whole idea. Now, we have 3 minutes, and I want you to quickly answer this question. Now, with the political tussle between the ASC and SACO's transition from IG from the SCLC and SACO making a transition from IG to SCLC. The question that I want to ask you is, how would this play out when you have this power struggle, when you have these IG leadership surrogates that have been so used to running things, and now would they be left out? How would all this work out? We have 3 minutes to do this. Can you help us, help the Ambazonian people to gain clarity? Because also, Chris Anu is now, sending out his neck and going after this new structure called SCLC. How will it work? What will be the role of people like Chris Anu? Are they going to be transitioning? Is SACO's IG, because there are two IGs here. There is the SACO IG, which is, I think now they call it Sacozonia. And then there is the Sisiko IG, which is the APNC. Is SACO's now transitioning to move completely to SCLC? Or SACO wants to play a role, attachment to SCLC through collaboration, and now going to Germany to form his own platform called local government by local government, county by county, in order for him to gain in order for him to find his legitimacy. What is the outcome of all of this?
Look, there are two types of collaborations that can be formed into structures like that. The first collaboration is based on purpose, which is what I talked about before. The second collaboration is based on convenience. I think what they did was just a kind of collaboration based on convenience in order to protect their own or to make themselves relevant. Okay. When this thing was formed, the first thing I said, you remember?
Yes.
I said that I am very happy. I'm very happy with the fact that people like Dr. Cho Ayaba decided not to be part of it. We know that there are all kinds of collaborations that have tried everything, and it always fails. And when it fails, Dr. Ayaba Cho has always been their scapegoat. They have always used him as the one to bash for everything. And it is good that now they can have their structure and work, and if it fails, then he can stay away. We have already seen it started happening. But coming to the structure, I mean, look at the SCLC when it started or something. I told you that I'm for collaboration. Anything that the people gather together to work for our people is good. But sometimes you have to have an analytic mind to be able to understand these things. The question you ask yourself is, who are these organizations that came together? What is their purpose? First of all, when you look at it, you see that these are organizations that have been on each other's throat for a while. How are they just going to give their and also they have different strategies, they have different ideologies. Are they going to give up their ideologies to come and in this thing? And secondly, remember, when you talk even on the practical sense, you have the IG. The IG has its own internal problems. The IG is split into two: SACO's IG and the Sisiko's IG. Sisiko's IG is run by the people called people of the APNC. Yeah. The APNC people have come out now and they have banned. They have actually what did they say? Kick SACO out through an official letter or official press release. Now you have the other groups that are still working with SACO. Are they now supporting the SACO camp? Because now they have to make a statement about that. Are they now supporting the SACO camp against the other group? Secondly, at a very practical level, let's look at how the revolution has been running for the past few months. Decision has been made by Separatist. We know people like Eric Tato, JK, and the rest, the ones who have been making decisions for the IG. In a way, because IG has not made any decision or anything. We see Chris Anu just comes and repeats the same things that people like Eric Tato and the rest have been saying. And it seems like they are the ones who have been, decision-making process has been subcontracted to them and the rest. And they claim to control the forces on the ground. Now, the forming of the SCLC, will these surrogates decide to give up their position?
That's the question.
Will they give up their position? Because SCLC is also claiming that all communication goes through them. Will Chris Anu give up his lucrative position as the communication to somebody else in the SCLC? Would the messages be conflicted or what? We've already seen it already in the last few days how SCLC is going on its own direction. The IG, I don't know if it's the IG or it is because even in Sako's IG today, it seems like it's now split. We have, look, the main IG is split. You have Sako's IG and you have Sako's IG. Then now you have, even in Sako's IG, you have Chris Anu going on his own side, and then you have Sako going on his own side because Sako went and signed the SCLC thing, which Chris Anu has been totally against. We've seen their back and forth these few days. We've seen how it seems like now it is Sako, and I don't know where Sako is with who in his own team now. And maybe Sako is with Ellis commentator because they were the ones who went for that thing, and maybe some few people. Then you have Chris Anu now, who is leaning towards the surrogates, Eric Tato and the rest. So, and then you have Mark, who is now on the other side. He's like standing on his own now somewhere, and he doesn't. You read his comments, and he's fighting with his own friends like Eric Tato, who together with whom they have their national AK campaign. You see their own fight. So the whole thing is chaos, and that is something we don't need now.
So the simple question is, in order for Sako to survive, because Sako now needs political survival, and as you know, the APNC has dissolved the position of AIP within the IG structure. So is Sako now running to Berlin in order to find some form of a structure that could be able to keep him floating within the Ambazonian revolution?
Look, we know this has been, the truth is that this has been the revolution of personal interests. We know that there are people who have taken up positions in this revolution and have created their own special interests. We know that there are people who have invested in this revolution, hoping that when we get to Biya, they will be rewarded for all of that. We know all of that, and they are on all the sides in the IG. Now, Sako, what does Sako do now? He has to try to maintain his position because he's under pressure from the Amazonian people for collecting money. He's under pressure from the people that invested in this scheme, called the IG, who were hoping that they will go to Biya and then they'll be rewarded with ministerial or director positions or positions in other. So you see, the whole thing is they are in chaos. Sako is going now to Berlin. He's trying out there to see if he can get the structure that he created, which didn't exist in the IG. He created that structure, and now he wants to use that structure to gain legitimacy.
Okay.
So it is all. I mean, even Biya's Biya's Cameroon government. I mean, I think they are even doing better than the chaos I see in all this IG worldwide structure. Which, by the way, let all of us understand. The creation of the IG was one of the biggest mistakes we made in the beginning of this revolution. And that lie was sold to us, and that's something that we need to educate our people to remove themselves, to take their minds out of that falsehood that was created in the beginning of this revolution.
Okay, my brother. As with that, we have come to the end of this broadcast. Ambazonian people, we would have loved to continue the broadcast. We only come online to have a conversation of impact, of inspiration, and most importantly to educate and to empower you, because the better the quality of the education you receive will determine the quality of choices you make. That's why we take the time to bring you quality education, to give you analysis and insight that will help you to make better judgment in terms of your leadership choices, in terms of your contribution, in terms of what you advocate for this revolution. This is our purpose here. The purpose of this platform is to take you beyond the ordinary conversations out there, to give you structured, objective, empirical, intelligent education. That's why we are doing this. So we don't come online just to have conversation. We don't have the time for. You're looking at that's why we only structure this for 45 minutes. I have 15 minutes to dress up and take off. We have other things to do. So that's the conversation for today. We applaud you for being strong. We applaud your resilience. We salute the heroes of this revolution, our grandmothers, our grandparents, the children living in the bushes, those in refugees across the world, the Amber Boys, all our self-defense forces that are defending the restoration of independence. Those are the heroes of this revolution. Without Ground Zero, none of us will be here. None of us will have the privilege or the opportunity or maybe even the courage to put our face out and to even speak. So when we come out to speak, we are speaking because they give us hope. We speak for them. The independence, the revolution is for Ground Zero. The independence is for Ground Zero. Everything we are doing is for Ground Zero. And that's why the interest of Ground Zero, the freedom for our people, the independence for our people, the liberty for our people, the hope for our people, a better life for our people, it's what we are fighting for. And that's the conversation for today. You've heard, you've listened, you've learned.
One last thing. I got one last thing.
Please, few seconds, please.
Yeah, just a few seconds. I just want to tell all our Amazonians that, look, we are one of the brightest people in the world. We are very intelligent. It's good we educate ourselves on the issues related to our revolution and stop just being group oriented, but also we should be a purpose-oriented community, and our purpose is our independence. And I want to end by giving all of you a food for thought. All Southern Cameroonians, especially those in the diaspora, if you, in your Cameroonian groups or cultural groups in the diaspora, you sit together and you realize that your community has been burned down and people are being killed, and you decide to donate money within your group and send to Ground Zero to help your community build it. If you gather, let's say $1 million francs, and you send it to the Aya Foundation, and the Aya Foundation takes that money, 1 million francs CFA, and send 9,000 to your community, 9,000 only out of all the money, the 1 million that you send in your community, and you realize that you send only 1 million to your community. What are you going to do to the Aya Foundation? That's a question that every single Ambazonian should ask. If you send 1 million to Aya Foundation and the Aya Foundation uses only 9 million to help your people, what are you going to do or usually 9,000? What are you going to do to the Aya Foundation? That's a question that we need to ask.
Well, with that question, I'm sure that question, so far we've seen the Aya Foundation has been one of the most reputable, trusted frontline NGO on the ground. They have worked very hard. The Aya Foundation, the lives of the staff of the people of the Aya Foundation have come under threats from both sides, from the Republic forces, and sometimes the people that some of these Amber Boys that they feel that the Aya Foundation has criticized the position of their political surrogates. We know the credible job they have done. That's a metaphor to tell the Ambazonian people that, look, if you're giving your leaders money and they are not using that money for what the revolution intends to, you better change your strategy. So, Ambazonians, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for participating. Share the video to educate other people. There are two things we need to do. Leaders need to focus on building diplomatic networks and create support for the Ambazonian people. And secondly, it's time we focus on beefing up the self-defense structures and arm our boys on the ground. This is not the time for negotiation. Any leader who is rushing to go negotiate with La République du Cameroon has been implanted within the Ambazonian revolution to be a facilitator, to be an enabler. We don't have anything right now to make us go to the negotiating table. We go to the negotiating table, we will be forced to accept whatever Biya wants to offer the Ambazonian people. For now, the revolution continues. For now, the self-defense on the ground needs to be intensified until we become a full contender force on the ground before we go to the negotiating table on our own terms. This is not time for negotiation. It's time to fight for our freedom. Goodbye.